Hey guys, this is Wrestling Fan for Life here, guys, tonight, and I am back here, and I am on here, guys, and to do my first sort of proper video then that I have done since my WWE Survivor Series 2020, when I did uploaded my Survivor Series 2020 pay-per-view review, which again is up on the channel when I did my Survivor Series 2020 pay-per-view review, guys, back nearly 2 weeks ago now, almost. That has come to 2 weeks ago. But that, guys, again, if you want again to check out my review that I did uploaded for Survivor Series 2020 up on my channel, guys, then that is there for you again to see now, and it is also again in a part and included, added on into my playlist videos as well, my playlists of WWE pay-per-view previews and review, guys, for you. But I am here, guys, to quickly bring a video to you guys. I know that again, wow, this is a quite late time now where I am doing this video at, but still, I am in pajamas now as well. But I just wanted to come on here to talk about then, guys, on what happened last week on last Wednesday's AEW Dynamite special. That was AEW Dynamite Winter is Coming 2020, the AEW Dynamite Wednesday December the 2nd, which was on last Wednesday, on Wednesday the 2nd of December. And this is just to talk about that, because it took place on Wednesday, but that if you have been looking at recent looking at videos I did, that I actually did a very quick 3 quick live reaction videos to basically me doing like on the opening to AEW Dynamite Winter is Coming, and that so that there's 3 quick live videos that I did, live reactions to the opening to the AEW the AEW Dynamite to the Dynamite Winter is Coming intro, which is why all of those videos are short, because I just made those very, very brief and very quick videos as well. And I just want to say, guys, that I just want to massively say a thank you as well for all of them views that I had on those videos as well, because it was absolutely staggering. I mean, absolutely, I can't even quite describe how I felt or how it was to see all of those views there that I got, that I had for my videos that I did on them over, last week. When I uploaded them onto my channel, I couldn't quite believe, I was overwhelmed with just how much you guys viewed those videos. And okay, I did, view them, once or twice. I did go over to see them back, myself, 2 or 3 times. But overall, guys, I, just really, I just want to, to say my, a massive, thanks to you guys. For the amount of views that I had on all 3 of those videos, because that on one of them videos, actually on my video that I did last week, which was when I did a very quick announcement of AEW Dynamite Winter is Coming, of the Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega AEW World Title match, that has actually gained, that video gained 1.1k views, over 1,000 views, and I just could not believe just how well again that did as well, guys. So really, I just honestly have to say that I really appreciated that. I really again just that I couldn't of even thought that they were going to get that many views either, and that, you know, especially to reach now, you know, 6 months as well, almost now that I started back when I came back to my channel, and that I just didn't quite know of just how, you know, things were going to get on. But yeah, so I just again wanted to quickly just say thank you guys for all of them views I had on those videos, because again I was really kind of shocked. I was literally surprised by, you know, by the again, just the amounts of views and the likes as well on them videos, guys, because again, it's just really helped my channel out now. It's really kind of again got me, you know, more onto this platform. It's you know, it's just helped me to express myself, and you know, I do again, and I will probably very occasionally do them sorts of videos as well, and they were again kind of randomly, that I just kind of randomly, you know, just came up with just, you know, doing them reactions to AEW, you know, when AEW Dynamite, because winter is coming. But that again, that I watched, you know, AEW Dynamite on Friday, because that, as I said, in my country, well, in the UK, they have it shown on ITV4 again, AEW Dynamite. So that is again how I you know, watched it on. So again, that, you know, I did learn, you know, well, I did kind of see again, you know, what did happen, well, what you know, what had already, you know, taken place, but that I was still waiting until I could actually see the full, and I did actually again watch the full Dynamite, that full AEW Dynamite Winter is Coming as well. But that, as I said, you know, the two main things I wanted, you know, to bring up, that I wanted to bring up, was that we had the anticipated, well, not anticipated, but we had the but that first off, there were two big things that happened, which first off was that we have finally seen Jon Moxley beaten, that we saw Jon Moxley lose the AEW World Championship to Kenny Omega, and Kenny Omega did finally end Jon Moxley's reign as the AEW World Champion, since being AEW World Champion at AEW Revolution, at the AEW Revolution 2020 pay-per-view. That came all the way back. That came, back in February 2020, on February the 29th. Or 27th, or again about that time. Well, again, basically at the end of February this year. But that Kenny Omega defeated Jon Moxley in that match, and that I watched again the full episode of that AEW Winter is Coming. You know, I watched, but again, I just again want to talk to. I just want to, you know, bring up the main things that went on. So yeah, so that happened. And I couldn't quite, you know, believe it that, you know, Jon Moxley lost. But I guess then if there was somebody, you know, again to beat, you know, Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship, that maybe Kenny Omega was, you know, the best option. And again, I just want to, you know, quickly, you know, give my, you know, well, do a review on the match as well, because I saw, you know, I had seen the match, and I have to say that the match was really, really good between both Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega as well. They had a really good match. I mean, some people have said, or I've seen, you know, a video where, you know, a video from another wrestling, from another member on the community here, on, you know, on you know, another, you know, wrestling YouTuber, who actually said that he didn't think that this match, that this was again their rematch again a year on from AEW Full Gear 2019, a rematch from, you know, in over a year. That this was their first proper rematch since then. So that again, this was again, like I said, a pretty big deal. But that definitely again, and this was what this AEW Dynamite Winter is Coming was hyped around. This was what was the main thing that was coming into this, because again, we didn't realize we were going to get an AEW World Title match again on Dynamite, on an AEW Dynamite, and that's why that I had to come up, and that's why again that I quickly made that reaction to it last week, that I quickly made a very quick that I made a quick thing of that last week, because again, Kenny Omega won the title shot. Well, he won the AEW Eliminator final match against Adam Page at AEW 4 Gear 2020. That again, if you guys have also seen my review of that, then he beat Adam Page at AEW 4 Gear. So then he had the right to then to challenge, to have an AEW World Championship title match. Well, he had an opportunity to challenge, and then they decided on Dynamite that it would happen on, again on Wednesday, the 2nd of December, 2020, at the very start of December last week, and that it would be, and that this would be called Winter is Coming, and it would be on a special Dynamite called Winter is Coming. So that's basically again how they promoted this match. But again, the fact again that it did happen again on a just on Dynamite was again just a pretty big deal, for this match. So this was again, a big deal. This was a big deal for Dynamite. The first, time that this has happened, or maybe even the second time that they've decided to do a title match on AEW Dynamite. I suppose again that maybe it was again a smart move, I guess, because again it's that and because that not many wrestling fans are going to be tuning in to too much, I guess, of wrestling over this month. So to have something to get the fans' attention, to attract fans, I think was quite clever by AEW as well, by AEW to do that. But so that's basically again how the match again, came together. Well, how we got to again Winter is Coming last week, to this Winter is Coming Dynamite special. But that as I said, so this had been an anticipated rematch between both John Moxley and Kenny Omega, and that I just have to say that did the match again live up to to high expectations? It's again, I think that it was definitely a very good match. I think it is hard to say, like I said, if it is better than the match that they than their first match they had. Well, the first encounter which they had at AEW 4 Gear last year. But because I didn't actually see that match, because I didn't actually haven't seen that match still, and I need to, but that I definitely heard again that match was great, and that match was so good, which was why I was anticipating this rematch. To see it as well on Dynamite, and just the fact that again that they were having this on Dynamite again, on AEW Dynamite. So I definitely think that. But I definitely think the match was really good. You had both John Moxley and Kenny Omega come out, and that it was again, and it was going really well. They were doing but again they definitely did good stuff. They definitely did good stuff in the match. And it was a good match, but that the shock was, as I said though, that Kenny Omega, again did defeat John Moxley. Well, he has ended John Moxley's reign. That again, that I think again was over. I want to say it was about his 200 days or so. It was maybe around that he'd been reigning as the AEW World Champion. But honestly, yes, I do have, mixed thoughts about it, because I didn't want to see Jon Moxley lose the AEW World Championship. But that the aftermath actually was, the shocking thing that came out was Kenny Omega turned heel, though, onto Jon Moxley to win the AEW World Championship, and that it was a sell-up on Jon Moxley as well, a clever seller, cleverly kind of ployed by Kenny Omega, because he actually had Don Callis, who was actually an executive at Impact Wrestling, at TNA Impact, that I used to watch at Impact Wrestling, that he actually came out. He's actually the current one of the current executives for Impact Wrestling, and that he came out to help to kind of lure Moxley. Well, that basically he had a microphone in his hands, but Moxley basically knocked down Don Callis, so that then basically, because of that distraction, then that was how Kenny Omega was able to defeat Jon Moxley, and to hit him with his with the wing clipper. And again, it was really, and that he hit him as well, like in the face, 3 times, in the corner with I can't remember what, but with 3 shots, with three 3 of those kicks that he does in the corner, that he did in the corner to Jon Moxley, that were vicious, that was pretty brutal as well. But again, it was a brutal ending to the match, though, to Moxley, and that he got split open, because Kenny Omega hit a microphone on Moxley, so that he got cut open over his eye. And it was just, so that was how, though, that Kenny Omega won. And that then, shockingly, then after that, just as when AEW went off the air, that he actually then went off Moxley. Well, that basically Kenny Omega ran off backstage at AEW Dynamite, backstage past Tony Khan, who was there, backstage, and he saw all this unfold, and Kenny Omega, who ran past him as the AEW World Champion, and basically, again, just going off and with no explanations, but just going off, with Don Callis, and that they both went. And that as they were trying to be interviewed by someone, they actually said that Kenny Omega was going to appear on this week's Impact on Tuesday. That me and Kenny are going to appear next Tuesday on Impact Wrestling, and you'll have to find out what would happen. Well, what they were going to what their move was going to be then. And so that, and that just, made me, really, and that was basically how it all ended, that they were going to go off to Impact Wrestling. They were going to turn up to Impact, and Kenny Omega with the AEW World Championship, as the AEW World Champion, to go to Impact. And that, so that basically that means then that both AEW, or it kind of seems that AEW and Impact Wrestling have now gone into like some sort of an invasion, or some sort of an agreement now, of like a partnership, it seems like. That they're kind of now going to be in a partnership sort of thing now, sort of working together, which again is definitely again going to be good, I think, to also help out, to help, Impact and also AEW to kind of again work together, to work as again. So that's basically, though, was what happened. But the Kenny Omega again, fully completed the heel turn, though, and that it was, good. So that was again was what happened there, and again, that I did not see it coming. I really just did not see that. I didn't see that was going to happen. But as I said, the match itself again was good, was really good as well. But there we go with that. So that was just quickly my thoughts I wanted to give, and that again, this was again a big deal, and that's why it was a big talk. This is why this was a big talking point as well. And that, again, this is why I wanted to wait for a week after to react to it. To react to this. To do a feedback, to it as well. But then, like I said, and then the second thing, there was the second, another, big thing that also happened, another dramatic thing that happened on last weekend, on last Wednesday, on this Winter is Coming 2020 as well, that we saw that we had finally, well, we didn't know, but we had the debut of Sting. We had Sting appearing last week on AEW Dynamite on Winter is Coming as well. That Sting is now signed with AEW as well. And I mean, yeah, and as if it couldn't get any bigger than that, that Sting made his debut last week as well. Which again, I didn't see that coming, but Sting has now signed. Also made his debut did his debut with AEW last week. Made a debut on AEW last week, and also he has signed a contract with AEW as well on a multi-year contract. And that was also, a big deal as well, because that we have not actually seen Sting now, for quite, some time. We hadn't seen him for quite some time. So again, that we kind of knew something was going on with Sting. But that, I mean, yeah, and this was again, a huge, and this is again, another big deal for AEW, but yeah, and the way that he basically debuted was that he came out to because he was coming out to stop a beatdown, because there was a tag team match with Cody Rhodes and the TNT champ and Darby Allin, the TNT champion, against Team Taz, or Taz's crew of someone Starks. Ricky Starks and Will Hobbs, who is basically they're basically again in this alliance, again in this group with Taz and Brian Cage, and that there was a tag team match, and basically that after the match, Darby Allin and Cody Rhodes won the tag team match, but that then they had them then come back in to attack them. And that then Goldust tried to come in and help, but then Brian Cage came in, and then just as they were going to hit Cody Rhodes with the TNT or with the FT, with like the championship belt, with the WTF belt, with the FTW, the FTW belt, that then the lights went into a blackout, and then that was when you heard kind of like the music then, and then you had snow coming down. You could see snow then was coming down, and then immediately then on the Titantron they had kind of like a black screen with Sting's name appearing on the screen. And it was just and it was just huge, and you just had then Sting coming out then, and the fans that were again able to be again in the attendance there in Daly's place were who were there in attendance to take this all in. We just couldn't, you couldn't believe it. And so yeah, and then basically he just comes then into the ring, Sting, and he has his, he just comes into the ring. And then basically then, like I said, you kind of have, basically then Will Hobbs and Ricky Starks who go out of the ring then, and Taz, they just basically go off, and then he is each kind of stares, head to head, sort of, goes looks, Cody Rhodes in the eye, and had a stare down. Well, it's sort of like a stare down with Darby Allin as well, which that came off well. But then and then just kind of like, you had Team Taz who were just gone, who just sort of went, and then and that was basically how Sting made his debut. But that I mean, now obviously, like I said, we don't know now if we are going to see Sting wrestle. We don't quite know again what kind of his contract is going to be. All we just know is that he has signed I know that he has signed a multi-year contract from what I've seen from reports from Wrestling Insiders, reports and all that, from the reports that I've looked on, and other videos as well, on that. But I mean, it was just huge though. But so you have Sting, making his debut in AEW, and that is the first time that in over 20 years, in 18 years, sorry, that he has appeared on TNT as well, that he is back on TNT, Sting. Because AEW again is on TNT, on the TNT network, which was what, WCW was on, who he used to be, which was again what who he was on Sting before again that WCW went bust. But so again, that they were again the two huge things that happened though, guys, on AEW Winter is Coming last week. So I just wanted to give a reactions on those two things. And also as well, you saw some dissension as well between the Inner Circle as well, which is going to lead to this week that there's going to be they've got to try and that they have to sort their differences out in 7 days, or that otherwise the Inner Circle could break up, while they're going to lead to a split. That happened last week as well, between Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara and MJF. But pretty much so that was though the two big talking points, the two big things that happened though, and that that I wanted to react to, that everyone else has reacted to. But so there we are, guys. That was just my thoughts there on AEW Dynamite Winter is Coming, on the Winter is Coming 2020 special on Wednesday, December the 2nd last week. But again, I watched again the full Dynamite of the full think of it. The full Dynamite on Friday on ITV4 again in my country, but I have to say again that that this, and it was definitely again I think the most talked about, one of the most talked about AEW events of the year, and I'm glad that I tuned into it. I'm glad that I did though, because that two big things happened, and again we see how this, can shape up AEW now heading into 2020, going into the new year. But again, what a way for AEW to come into December though, for them to have come into December with, the debut of Sting. But again, what a debut Sting made. And also Kenny Omega, ending the reign of Jon Moxley, ending Jon Moxley's AEW World Championship reign. And which again, like I said, I have mixed bag thoughts on. But and that lastly, again, I just want to say a congrats as well to Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch as well, after Becky Lynch gave birth to their first child, called Rouge, I think the name is. I think it's a French name. But I just had to quickly, do a quick congratulations on that, because Becky Lynch gave birth. Well, the news broke on Monday, just before Monday Night Raw. But thanks, guys, for tuning in. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to the face that runs the wrestling community. And you've been watching Wrestling Fan for Life 98. And don't forget, to keep, tuning in and hit me again, a subscribe on the subscribe button, and to join me, and to keep my channel growing, and to keep this and now, as I said, into the end of into December now, up to the end of this year, and keep staying with me, guys, and I promise that again I won't let you down.